Hi Lux Beauties, welcome back to my page. Hope everyone has been having a great week. And today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me video so we can see my transformation from start all the way to finish. So let's jump right into it. So first things first, I always love to start with skincare. I have I already washed my face with my Soap and Glory The Fab Pore facial cleanser. Comes out in a nice, beautiful, foaming texture. After that, I went ahead and applied the serum. So I've already hydrated my face with some serum from the Nuco. It's called the Peel. It's an all-in-one serum with AHA, vitamin C, and hyaluronic acid. So I am going to be priming my face with the NYX primer. It's a eyeshadow base and it's the white one. I simply dip my finger in here and then apply the product evenly on both sides of the face. I'm just putting a little extra on because I want to make sure it's even, but I want to make sure that my layer is thin and not too thick to where it feels like a cream eyeshadow in a sense. So today I'm going to be going with something neutral with a little pop of color. So one of my favorite crease colors are oranges. So I'm going to go with that. And I am going to be using a nice little crease brush. I am using this eyeshadow palette that I mentioned in a previous video from Ace Beauty. It's called Nostalgia. And the color that I'm going to be using today is called Vacation. It's this orange color right here. And I'm going to put this right in the crease. Now, because I'm doing my own makeup on film, I do have a mirror handy so that I can see what I'm doing without blocking the view of what you guys can see. And I'm actually gonna push this up a little bit more just to get closer. So I'm gonna start in my crease area. And I wanna make sure that I'm blending that out really good. Now the brush that I'm using is a crease brush, but it's really made more for definition. But I just grabbed the first thing that I could put my hands on because I know that I'm going to be going back and blending this in with something else, maybe a brown. So I have a perfect brown in this same palette. It's called Hiking. It's this one right here all the way on the end. It kind of is a reddish brown or orangey brown, however you want to say that. So I'm just going to be applying this to the outer corner of my eyes. And I don't know if you guys are wondering why I haven't done my brows yet, but I like to save my brows for last. I feel like it really helps the makeup pop because you don't get like the fallout from powder when you're putting on your foundation or setting your face. And it doesn't go into the brow area. So I'm dragging this color all the way across the bottom of my lid and making sort of a triangle here. So today I'm really feeling this palette and I think I'm gonna stick with it. So there's one last color that I'm gonna apply, and this one is called Fun. And it's really, really fun. It's from the same palette, the Nostalgia by Ace Beauty. And it's a really shimmery gold. So you can actually use this as a pressed powder, just loose. Sometimes I will go back with my base very lightly to add a little bit of definition if I want to get the color to pop. But because this is a shimmery color and it's full of glitter, I don't think that's necessary. Now you can always spray your brush with water in a spray bottle. I would prefer something like a Fix Plus spray or some kind of spray that has an adhesive to it that helps the eyeshadow stick to the skin. So I'm just gonna go right here and pack this on my lid. Now this eyeshadow palette in particular is full of pigment, which is why I don't really need the white base, the NYX base, because it's full of pigment. It may compromise the texture of the eyeshadow. I feel as if I go back over it with the eyeshadow base, because it's kind of chunky since it does have that glittery effect. And of course we want this to be smooth. Now I know I said I was gonna do something natural, but hey, sometimes I get a little carried away, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are into makeup do as well, but it always opens us up to new opportunities as far as what we can wear on our face, what we're comfortable with, and things like that. So now I'm taking a legit blending brush, blending this all the way out, all the way from front to back. And that's it for my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna stick this back, and I'm gonna get a makeup wipe. I use these makeup wipes from CVS. They're the CVS brand, which is 360 Beauty. They're fragrance free. They're great for sensitive eyes, sensitive skin. Haven't had a problem with it, and I definitely suffer from sensitive skin. And when I'm removing my makeup, as far as the excess fallout is concerned, I want to make sure that I'm going in this motion so that I can kind of create that wing effect without really having to try so hard. What you want to focus on is symmetry, because you don't want one up here and then like one down there. So you want to make sure it's even. If you have any white left over from the base, you can go inside just like that and wipe that extra off. If it's in your brows, feel free to do that, because we're gonna fix our brows last, so we'll get to that later. I have a little bit in my waterline and in my tear ducts. I just want to get that out to clean everything up. And now we can move on to face. So I'm gonna apply this serum again, because like I said, I applied it earlier. Actually, let me wipe my hands off the makeup wipe. Sorry guys. So I applied this earlier, but I really love it. It's from Ipsy. As you guys know, I am an Ipsy fan. I love BoxyCharm. I love Ipsy. I love subscription boxes. I just love makeup. I don't know about anybody else, but I do. And skincare is like my holy grail. So definitely into lots of skincare. So I always want to prime my face with a serum that's going to replace some of the nourishment back into my skin after I have washed it with a cleanser. And lately, because it's been kind of warm, I've been using the Glow Peel from Awake. I also did a video on this before showing some of the products that I used, and I'm just applying this all over. I want to make sure I catch everything. And this is another reason why I do my brows last, because if I had did them first, I'm sure the product would be all over the place. So now I'm going back with one of my favorite products. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish, the Smooth and Blur Primer. So now that that's on, I'm gonna go right in with my foundation. And today I'm gonna be using Juvia's Place. This is Kampala, number 340. Comes in a little tube like this. Very affordable. You can find it at your local Ulta. I'm only going to be using about this much, and I want to spread it all across my face. Now this is going to give me a full coverage, because this is actually way more foundation than I need, but I am a full coverage kind of girl. I don't wear full coverage every day, but for video purposes and getting ready with me today, this is just what I'm feeling like. So I'm going to go with what I feel. You want to make sure that you blend that all the way in. Touch that neck area. You don't want any lines of demarcation. Basically what that means is that we can tell where your foundation has stopped. So now I'm going to go back on top of my foundation with the Juvia's Place concealer. And this is, I have a fresh box. So it's called I Am Magic Concealer. And this is in the color 13. So to go right under my eyes like this. Sometimes I can take it really, really far. And sometimes I put it underneath the foundation as well. But since I'm putting it on top, I don't really need that much. So I'll stop there. And I'm just gonna blend this in with my foundation. Now you wanna make sure that when you're blending a lighter color with a darker color or anything like that, that you're patting so that your colors don't mix in together. And I'm just gonna grab my mirror really quick. I'm gonna take this little brush just to blend my foundation. If you can see right here, see how that line is there? I don't want that. So I usually go this way to keep the shadow from going into my face. So I'm gonna do that. And then if I have like these lines under here, I'm just going back and spreading out the product that's already there. I'm not applying anything additional. All right, so for the most part, my foundation is done. I'm gonna go ahead and set it with a powder. This is the Nomad palette by Sydney Bathurst, and it's called Kiss of Sun palette. So the color I'm gonna be using is called, geez Louise, Manly Beach. So I really like to use this color as a setting powder. As you can tell, I've been going through it a lot, but it matches my skin very well. I like to break it up so that I can get more coverage out of it. I feel like loose powders give me more coverage, or not even more coverage. Well, yeah, more coverage, but it gives me more control over how much product is going to my face. I'm not putting too much on, and I always use a big fluffy brush to kind of avoid that as well. All right, so now I'm gonna start contouring my face, and I'm using another product that I mentioned before. Maybe I did not, but it's called Cheek Money. That is the name of the color, and it's by Off Topic. It's a Bronze and Glow palette. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna be putting this right close to my ear. Once you hear that swishy effect in your ear, you know that you're in the right spot. You don't want to go in too far towards the lip. It'll make it look kind of beardy. So you want to stay about 2 to 3 fingers away from the front of the face. So now that we have that on, we're going to go ahead with our blush. And today I'm going to be using a color from the Warrior 3 by Juvia's Place. And this one is called Jarawa. I don't know, but it's this pretty orange one right here. Ooh, wow. That's really strong. So I'm glad that happened, because I actually have a trick for that. So what I do when that happens is I actually take my fluffy brush, right? And I'm gonna blend it out. And that's also a product that I do believe I mentioned before in a previous video. Maybe, maybe not. But if I didn't, now you know what it is. So I'm gonna take a paper towel just to wipe some of the excess blush off, because I do want to use the same brush, because what I'm going to be doing is going on top of it with something that's a little bit more subtle. This is by Lovecraft Beauty. I definitely have mentioned this palette before, and I like to mix all of the colors together. And that's just going to soften it out a little bit, so it's not so pink. So now that that's on, I go back with my blush again just to blend it out even more. And then we're gonna get us some highlight. So you guys know that I absolutely love this Huda Beauty palette. 3-dimensional highlighter palette, melted cream and powder. I don't know, but this is how it looks. I want to cut some forehead off, because wherever I apply the darkness, the light is going to pull back from lighting. Now, I don't really have to go on the sides, but that's just something that I do out of habit. So I'm going to take my same blending brush. I'll be using this a lot, you guys. And I'm just going to blend that in, because I don't want anyone to see where I've actually put my contour, because that can get pretty scary. Ooh, and I forgot my nose. So I'm just using what's left over on the brush, because my nose doesn't really need that much contouring, since I already have an upside down triangle face shape. And then I want to go ahead and blend that out on the sides. Now, I feel really weird right now, so I want to put some lipstick on, and then I'll come back to do brows, liner, mascara, and lashes, and then we'll start to get dressed. Sorry, this is a LA Colors lip liner pencil, and it is in the color Perfect Brown. So I'm gonna push up so you guys can see and start to line my lips. Now, what I like to do is make sure the inside of my lips are dry, inner corners, because as I'm talking and I'm putting the lip liner on, it tends to get a little bit wet or moist. I know some people hate that word. Please forgive me. And now I'm going to go back with my lipstick and just pop it right in the middle. I feel like this is the perfect lip for any look, pretty much. Especially if you want to do something subtle and you don't want to be all out there and you just want to kind of keep it clean and classy. Definitely recommend this. So now let's move on to brows. So for my brows, I'm going to be using a product that I did mention before. It is the Other Girl Brow Pomade. I'll do my eyes later, finish my eyes later. And then we can pop lashes on and we'll be done. So for this little trick, this is a pomade that comes in a jar. I'm gonna push up a little bit more. And I'm going to start on the outer corner of my brows, just tracing what's already there. When I get to the inside, I try not to go too much darker, so I try not to apply too much pressure, because the more pressure you apply with the brush, the more product you will get and the darker it will be. And I don't really want a dark brow, because I do have like these honey blonde braids in my hair right now, and I think it'll just look weird. So after that, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. This mirror is not like working with me. Don't try to concentrate on your brows so much, because you're always gonna clean them up. So it's not even that big of a deal. Now what I like to use is, I'm trying to say do and use at the same time. Anyway, So there's a Take Me to Brazil palette by BH Cosmetics. There's a nice flat black matte shadow right here. And I just like to go in the arch of my brow all the way to the tail end, just to get a little bit more definition. Perfect. Other side. Now you want to make sure that if your product is an eyeshadow that you're going to be using, like me, that you have a flat brush that doesn't pick up so much product, because you will get fallout on your face, and it'll just make your job harder, because you'll have to go back and clean everything up with concealer, and nobody wants to do that. So now I'm going to be going back with my Juvia's Place concealer again, just to clean up my brows. I like to use a tip with a brush that's either angled or not. This one isn't angled, but angled brushes might help. It just depends on you and what works best for you. I can actually do either or, but I think I prefer this one. Sorry, I want to make sure you guys can see. I'm just gonna cut this tail end off because I don't want it to be too long. Sometimes I use my fingers and that works perfectly fine. So I'm just gonna get me a plain brush, or even a flat brush. This will do. Just to blend that in. I used to use my fingers, but I find that blending in first and going over with the fingers gives it a much better look. And I still could clean that up more if I wanted to, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. Now this is why I said don't concentrate on the brow so much, because I still have product left over on this brush. And in order to get a perfect brow, I'm just gonna go back and kind of retrace and stop and make it super clean. So there we go. Now we're not done with brows yet, but we almost are. So you just want to repeat the same steps on the other eye. So the last thing I'm gonna do is take this brush, go in the inner corner of the brow, and then I'm gonna take this little spoolie brush and just brush that out. And then I wipe off the excess in the inside. Sometimes I might go back with my foundation brush just to make sure there's no black in the inside. If I need to go back with highlighter, I'm sorry, I can do that as well. So there we have it. Now let's move on to eyes. So for my eyeliner, I've been using this Maybelline that works really, really well, really, really affordable. Definitely get what you pay for. It's a steal. I think everyone should try it out. If you're into gel liners that last long, maybe not waterproof, water resistant, but definitely doesn't smudge. Alright, so for the top, I'm going to be doing the same thing. But I'm going to pull my lid out and just smudge it across. I love this liner because it doesn't mess up my shadow. It just glides on so easy. Alright, so for mascara, I'm going to be using Ikeo London Rock Out and Lash Out Mascara in Beatnik Black. Ipsy product. I'm going to be applying this on the top and bottom lash. And doing the same thing on the other side. I'm not going to put too much because I'm going to be putting false lashes on. Alright, I'm going to put my lashes on. Well, actually, I'm going to set up everything to put my lashes on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. We're going to put our lashes on now. I know that as a licensed cosmetologist by the Louisiana State Board, we're not supposed to use hair glue, but I really like how it stays on. So I'm going to be putting some of this on. I'm trying to do it in frame so you guys can see. Okay, that's not in frame. All right, now we're in frame. So I put a little bead out and I just drag it. Now it's probably a lot on there. So what I'm gonna do is take my finger, go back, wipe the excess off. And this is my right lash. I like it because it gets really tacky really quick. And it stays. Sometimes I fall asleep with makeup on accident. And I wake up and my lashes are still intact. So, works for me. Do what works for you. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this. You usually have to close my eye. Lash glue has formaldehyde in it, so just a caution. I am not encouraging you to use, I'm sorry, not lash glue, track glue. I am just telling you what I use and what works for me. See how easy that was? That's why I like to use the track glue. Now I usually can get about 4 or 5 wears out of a pair of strip lashes. I don't like to waste them, and I don't like to waste my money, and I don't think anyone else does. So I'm just doing the same thing, just dragging it on there. Kind of missed a little bit of it. Just dragging my finger across, making sure it's on the entire lash band. And I like to go like this to kind of form it. Give it a little swish in the air. And let's stick this baby on. Let me turn this way. I usually start on the outer corner and then go in. Hey, I didn't even have to close my eye for that. Look at me. And our lashes are on. Now sometimes with the hair glue, your lash will stick to your bottom lid. So you want to make sure that you don't have any, why do I keep saying lash glue? Jesus Christ. You don't want any hair glue stuck to your bottom lid. So that right there, what you see, that black, that's hair glue. So now it's not gonna stick anymore. I can also flip this around and get under there. And lashes are done. So face is done. I'm going to take my hair down. I might get a crinkly effect because I had it in a braid, which is cool with me. I did do a video earlier about my braids when I braided them before. I just did these about a week ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some edge control on and show you guys how I manage my hair. Now you're more than welcome to use whatever floats your boat. Today I'm gonna be going with the Styling Jam for braids. I think the Styling Jam that's not for braids might work a little bit better. This is also one of my favorites that I've mentioned before in a previous video. It's the Ebin 24 Hour. And you know what? I think I'm gonna use this. So, because I like my braids going this way, I always do my baby bangs in the same direction. So this is all gonna flip that way. So I just grab a little comb. Actually, I would use like one of those edge brushes, but I don't really need to use that. But if you're not as good with it, I would highly suggest that you do give it a shot. So I just want to make sure my parts are even. And I'm just going to use like a finger wave motion. You can also watch lace video tutorials to get the hang of this. But I want to make sure that all of my hairs, all of my edges and my baby bangs are going into the actual braid itself and not like on the outside. Now you see that brown? That's just makeup. Now what I should have done was to wipe my hair off before I did this, but I didn't. So that's what happens when you don't wipe your hair off. I feel like this one's going a little bit more to the opposite side. Same thing. Want to make sure your parts are clean. Like that. Come on, work with me now. If it helps, you can pull it back so you can see the parts a little bit better. And not just simply go like this. Now it might look a little weird at first because of the makeup, but eventually it all melts together, because what I'm going to be doing is using one of those lace, I don't know what you call it, like the headband thing for the edges, like the edge controller thing, to lay my edges in place. And you'll see what I'm gonna be doing while I'm waiting for that to happen. So really it's all about the form. Just want to make sure that everything is in there right. So this is what I'm talking about that I'm gonna put on. So I actually bought a lace wig not very long ago, and the wig company that I use is called Love Me. So So this is a scarf that they give you when they send you a lace wig. And I'm gonna use this to tie my edges up. Doesn't have to be too tight. Just wanna make sure it's secure. So just to remind you guys, I did not use the Solid Jam at all. I actually ended up using the Ebin 24-hour Edge Tamer Extreme Firm Hold. You can find this at your local beauty supply store. So after I'm done with that and I'm waiting for my edges to be set in place, I'm gonna grab my blow dryer and some foaming spray. So right now I'm using the Botanicals because it's full of aloe and good stuff like that. All right, so I actually went and grabbed this shirt so I can show you guys the finished product after I'm done with my hair. But I basically just put this all over, make sure it's hitting the roots, and just finger it through. It's gonna keep your hair or your braids looking nice and fresh. Great for longevity. Now usually after I do this, I would tie my hair up with a scarf. Right now I can't find a scarf, so I'm just gonna use a bonnet. But the scarf works better if you tie it down tightly. You'll get a better look in the end. I don't plan on wearing my hair up today, so I'm not really worried about the back. But if I was wearing a ponytail or something, I definitely would focus on the back a little bit more. So I'm just gonna put this on. And all I wanna make sure is that the scalp is covered. I'm not worried about the ends of the braids, just my scalp. Pull that back and blow dry it on high. I'm just gonna stop to say that if you want to keep the bonnet on until it's fully dry, that's probably the best thing that you can do. Or the scarf, you don't want to take it off immediately. You want the setting spray, the foaming spray, the foaming lotion to form to the hair. Okay guys, here's the finished look. My edges have dried. My foam has set into my hair, and I decided to go ahead and get dressed to show you guys what I decided to put on. So I'm wearing this beautiful shirt that my aunt gave me. Has a picture of a black woman with glasses and her afro, embracing all the black beauty. Decided to pair this with a brown crossbody bag, something very simple and basic. And I also have these light brown sandals on with my pretty blue nail polish. I also made about 3 waist beads in 2 days. I don't know if I said that already. I'm sorry if I did, but I wanted to wear something that would show that off. So you guys stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. And until next time, stay luxurious.